And hello again from the Land Rover shed. Actually, we're outside the shed this morning and inside the Landy to make a change. And today we are doing a very simple job. That's the plan anyway. This is a Land Rover, this is an old car, and simple jobs can quite often become very painful jobs. So we're going to give it a go anyway. Today we're going to be installing these rubbers. There's a rubber on the gear stick, a rubber on the four-wheel drive selector, and also a rubber on this one. Bit of a psychological win, I guess. The Land Rover's been taken forever. I'm sick of it sometimes. To do small things like this is a small win, makes things look complete, and a bit of a pick-me-up. So yeah, looking forward to getting this one done. Absolutely no benefit to soundproofing or waterproofing because it's going to leak like a sieve, but hey, this is a start anyway. So the first one we'll work on is the one for the four-wheel drive low range selector. Again, at a boot from Paddock Spares in the UK. I think they're just generic, they're probably brick parts or something. In theory, this just slots over here, and then there's a retaining ring that will screw onto the top. So first off, just got to make these holes an actual hole. They're still sealed, and in theory it's just a case of sliding her over the top and then fighting to get the holes mounted up. So here's the ring, the retaining ring, lovingly sprayed green with everything else. Look at that, the actual holes match up. So there is a first win for the day. And it looks like this is actually going to work for once. Screw her down nice and tight. There's a bit of a lip at the back, sort of makes sense, I suppose. Keep things waterproof in there. Not that that's actually going to be a problem because there's holes all over this vehicle. And yeah, one screw there, one screw here. Nice and simple for once. And finally, now we're screwed on, we have the ceremonial screwing on of the correct colour knob, the red knob, which iconic in Land Rovers. I think they look very ugly and out of place, but hey, that's the way it is. One down. Wow, super easy job. And next, onto the four-wheel drive selector, or four-wheel drive high, I think is its technical name. This has a spring. A big old spring goes on the outside. I did triple check on the internet. Not too many diagrams or information on the web for this. So it does go on the outside. I did see a very fuzzy picture. I've looked at the parts catalogue as well. It's quite a strong magnet, and this needs to come up while she puts the spring on. So I'm going to get some locking pliers. I don't want to mark things, so I'm just going to cover them in masking tape, just so it doesn't dig into the shaft or make a mess of any of the rather rough paintwork that I've done on the inside. A lot of that inside is going to be covered up in carpet or like a rubber mat. So yeah, it doesn't have to be perfect. Only I will know, or the next person that wrecks the vehicle will know. So I'm just putting some tape on the locking pliers just so I don't mark any paintwork or dig into the shaft. And I'm going to put it up. I'm going to stick these on there just to stop her from falling down. We have our signature yellow knob that just screws on. So it should just be a case of putting this on, compressing the spring, screwing on the signature famous yellow knob, and then removing these is the plan. I think that's been a lockdown. I'll have a play. I haven't actually tested out the four-wheel drive on this yet, which is probably a bad thing to have done. Now I'll put it all back together. Should have probably tested that out before I put all the coverings on. But anyway, low wheel four-wheel drive, high four-wheel drive. Next, moving on to the gear stick, which has this rather wonderful contraption. The gear stick one has like a flange on there. I'm assuming it goes over and then you tuck the inner one in, and the other one stays on the outside just to keep things waterproof. I'm going to have a fight with this one because I don't think my gearbox is quite centered. I remember it wasn't when I installed the engine. The engine was slightly off center because the gearbox was off center. I'm not moving the gearbox. We'll persevere with this. We'll make this one fit. But yeah, four-wheel drive, low range, gear stick rubber. Just got to poke this flange underneath somehow, which then leads on to the handbrake. Okay, and next we have the handbrake. Now, if anyone's seen the video of the walk around the Landy in February 2025, you'd see I've had a bit of a fight with this handbrake. My mistake, I painted it, I spray painted it. I also spray painted the button at the same time. And what I didn't realize was spray painting this would actually make it bigger, and the paint was soft. So as soon as I did that, I wasn't able to push the button in properly. I pushed the button in and it stuck in, which was not a good result. So Googled it, found out that this was a screw thread, the button. Tried to turn it, couldn't turn it round. Got some vice grips on it to turn it, and it snapped the rod that was through the middle. Looks like someone else had done the same thing in the past, and it was a weld that had snapped. So it was a case of taking out the rod, welding it back, and this is probably as good as it's going to get for now. I've sanded it down a bit, it's a bit smoother. I will paint it again very carefully, so not to make the button too big. But I've got a handbrake again, which is a big win. So finally, this is the boot for the handbrake. This one's slightly different to the others in the fact that it goes inwards, and so it doesn't go this way, which is what I originally thought. I don't remember seeing this on when I received the Land Rover because it was all perished. But this one actually goes inwards. So yeah, have to wiggle the handbrake just to get it through. And there you go. Finally, there's this locking ring here. This just goes over the top to lock her in place, and I'm just using some self-tapping screws. The holes are already drilled, but just a nice way to get it in. I will paint these with a brush one day. It's on the to-do list. I'll just give that a coat of green paint just so they blend in somewhat. There is a carpet that goes over here, so you won't be able to see them anyway, but it's nice to do. And yep, there's just 4 more screws. I'll do those a bit later on once I know it's all set. But yeah, there's the handbrake. Nice and simple for the handbrake install. And there we go. In theory, everything should now work, and it should all be semi-waterproof anyway. So next step is to test out the four-wheel drive. Now I guess I've got knobs on. This one is the low range, I know that from previous videos on the internet. This is high range. This is meant to lock down as far as I know. It didn't work. Hopefully the engine needs to be started. If not, it's broken and I need to take everything else apart. But anyway, we'll see how we go. Thank you very much for watching. If these are useful, click subscribe and like, and we'll see you again on the next Land Rover. Well, hopefully we're going to be doing the front wings or the doors. I haven't quite decided yet. But thanks for watching.